Do you have a personal health philosophy that you're aware of? What's going on, guys? DrSean here. Welcome to the Winner's Circle. If you're new here, I hope that you'll be inspired to increase, enhance, embolden your power of choice. That's what we're all about here. That's what this channel is about, and that's what I am about. I want to help you embolden your power of choice as I learn to increase my own power of choice. Power of choice, some people might call it a mindset, or we might call it a personal health philosophy. It's kind of the lens through which we see the world, through which we see each other, and the opportunities that are out there. And so I was asking about this personal health plan because there's no time better than now to have a personal health, let's say, philosophy. It's probably better to work on and be more aware of what is your personal health philosophy before we design what our plan is. Now, I want to inspire you to really take a couple of measures. I usually recommend 3 approaches, and I will do that for this particular video. I really want to help you. I really want to inspire you to think big for yourself. Most of the times I see people in the hospital, they're taking medications, let's say for blood pressure, but their blood pressure is not controlled. They're taking medications for diabetes, but their diabetes is not controlled. It's not optimal. A lot of us are taking health measures, but we are not optimizing. There is a part of us that doesn't think that we can be or should be or deserve to be. Maybe we don't value ourselves enough to achieve ideal values, ideal body weight. We were told maybe perhaps long ago that nobody's perfect. And so we started letting ourselves off the hook at an early age. I don't know if this serves us well anymore, because when we think that when we give up on the ideal, when we give up on perfection, when we give up on the pursuit of perfection, then many times we find ourselves in situations that we don't want to be in. So that's why I'm asking you today, what is your personal health philosophy? Now, initially, I wanted to ask you about your personal health plan, but I don't want you to start to design a plan until we really think about what our philosophy is. Many times I ask people, what's your ideal body weight? And it puzzles them. They think about it, they ask me, they go deep in their head, and I can see that there's a part of them that is saying, well, I would really like to be, oh wow, I'm not even going to think about that. And so I really want to inspire you to think about what would be ideal when we're talking about a philosophy and when we're talking about perhaps some target that we might reach in the future, even if we are not necessarily reaching it, but we are working on it. We are going on a walk toward that journey. We are on the journey of health improvement. And when I'm talking health, please understand I'm a physician. And so perhaps, physical health is what got me interested in this. I wanted to see people do well physically. But what I've learned is that when we make adjustments to our personal health philosophy or our mindset, well, then we benefit in all ways. When I realized that, wow, I can achieve a weight goal for myself, I realized that I can make changes in my life overall. So, what is your personal health philosophy? First, answer that and think big, think ideal. Okay, what would be most ideal? Now, as we start going into this, and I'm going a little slow because I want to bring you with me here. As we start going into these directions, I want to talk to you about different mindsets. Okay, we're talking about philosophies, but mostly we're talking about mindsets, all right? And we're talking about different mindsets that we all have. And let's say if I have a mindset where I think that nobody can really do well, and if I think that whatever I try to do, things don't work out. And so what I end up with is kind of a scarcity mindset. Okay. Now, if I think, well, some people can do well, but not others. And however my lot is in life, well, that's how things are going to stay. well, then I could live with, let's say, a fixed mindset. These are just ideas that we practice and we tell each other. We share them amongst each other. We laugh, we tell jokes, we become cynical, and we keep ourselves where we are. The question is, and I'm not judging any of these mindsets, the question is, are these mindsets helping us to get where we want to go? And so a lot of what I like to see people do is to enhance their mindset, enhance their power of choice by exercising their choice. All right, so now if we realize that, you know what, if I learn from my experiences, if I expose myself to different types of people, different circumstances, well, then I can grow. Well, then we can get into kind of a growth mindset. And when we get into a growth mindset, there's really no bounds to where we can go. And if we continue along that, exercising our choice here in our, let's say, our personal life, our work life, our spiritual life, when we exercise our choice, then we get stronger in our power of choice, and then we can make big decisions, very impactful decisions in our lives. And we realize that there's no real end to what we can do. And we realize that we can reach, let's say, what's called an abundance mindset. So if we can envision for ourselves a growth or abundance mindset, then we can really start to make some plans that we feel more comfortable about. Because what we're talking about in this regard is when we open our eyes, we can see possibilities that are endless. When we look at other people, we don't see limits in them. When we look at our circumstances, when we look at ourselves, we don't feel limited. In fact, we realize that there are limitless possibilities abound. So now, from that point, let's talk about some things that we can do to increase, or let's say, 3 things that I want to recommend for you. Now, aim high. The first is to aim very high. Think in terms of ideal. Think in terms of what would be your favorite. Think in terms of what would be optimal. Think in terms of what would be your best. Again, we're not talking about a particular outcome. We're talking about a journey toward where we want to go and where we think is possible. But when we can think in terms of possibilities, well, again, there's no end. And so think in terms of ideal. All right, think in terms of winning. You've heard of a coach back in the day who said, winning is the only outcome. Winning is the only thing. Winning is everything. There's no other choice. Okay, so if you think in terms of winning being your only choice, well, then I think that that's going to make you proud. You'll be taking yourself into an area that you're very proud of, and it will start tomorrow or even today. It's not necessarily an outcome I'm talking about, but rather a journey. It makes you feel better when you're on it. Now, the second thing I want to recommend is to get off of defense. Okay, most of us are living on defense to a degree. And what I mean by that is, in the face of adversity, in the face of challenge, what we are doing instead of taking on the challenge is we are blaming other people. We are participating in unhealthy competition, unhealthy comparisons. We are complaining a lot. We are trying to control what other people are doing. We are criticizing what other people are doing. We're exaggerating the challenges ahead of us rather than taking on that adversity. We are, in some cases, telling falsehoods, okay, and making excuses. We are doing all sorts of behaviors of habit, if you will, that we're not even aware of. Sometimes we're doing them kind of automatically. Sometimes they've become habits. They've been woven into our character, and it's sort of who we are, and it's consistent with the mindset that we are living with. And so what I want you to do is get off of defense. And when we are off of defense, when we decide that, hey, you know what? This is mine. I own this. I own my outcomes. I own the approaches. Well, then the next is that we will find that we are on offense. Now we are getting ready to make some serious headway, get on offense. And once we are on offense, we're ready to exercise some choices. Now we will start seeing choices that we did not see before. We'll start seeing resources that have always been there, but they'll be placing themselves in front of us. People will start giving us things. We can exercise some choice. Will it always be easy? It won't always be easy, but we will know that we are in it to win it, and we will start making some headway, making major progress, making some major momentum. And pretty soon our life will become a function of our choices and a function of the momentum we are enjoying. And so those are my 3 choices that I want to recommend. The first is to think in terms of only winning. The second is to get off of defense. And the third is to get on offense, exercise some choices. And the more we are exercising choices, the more we grow and expand our power of choice. And when we do that, well, then we are increasingly achieving a growth and abundance mindset. I hope that keeps you winning today. If you hear something that you think somebody can use, well, then share it with them and come on back. Make sure you click that subscribe button so that when we continue this conversation on how you can win and how I can win and how we can keep winning together, well, then you won't miss a beat. Take care, guys. Keep winning.